Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you today about one of the easiest things you can do in your business, but also one of the hardest things to do when you might be feeling demotivated or kind of in a rut. And that is staying visible. It is so important. And I'm going to tell you 3 times when it is super, super, super important for you to make sure you're visible. Publicly, staying visible on your Facebook or on your Instagram. And when I mean visible, I mean being social, but I also mean your visibility and your confidence that you're projecting about our products, about our business opportunity, and about you enjoying all of that. So we want to be social on social media, right? It's not stalker media. And for people to interact with you, you've got to be interacting with other people. Also, we know that on Facebook, things aren't going to pop up that you're doing for other friends if you're not kind of having that interaction, that back and forth. And so staying really visible on your social media is just as important as being visible in real life, IRL, right? At church or wherever you are throughout the week, being visible, smiling at people, talking to people. Being visible on your social media is so important. It is the way that we are connecting and educating people on a daily basis. And if you're not visible there, here's what happens. People are so used to people quitting these types of companies. And honestly, when you started Plexus, there are some people that began watching you saying, I wonder how long that's going to last. I wonder how long it's going to take for her to quit or for that fad to be over. And you guys, to do our company justice and our products justice and to have people who really need this stuff give it a chance, we have to be visible. We have to be consistent on our social and public platforms because some people's quality of life depends on that. And I say that because it's a great responsibility, but it's also an awesome privilege that something so simple could change so much for someone. So our visibility on our social media really does create trust. That consistency builds up and creates that education and people understand what we're doing and they're more likely to give it a shot and to put it as a priority for themselves when they see that it's something that you're serious about because you haven't given up. And so what can happen sometimes is maybe we're going through a tough season in life or maybe in your business or your health, you're going through some weird detox or first trimester of pregnancy comes up. Been there. And what happens is we might still be consistent on our products. We might still be trying to work our business, but we fall away from engagement and we fall away from visibility on our public social media. And what that does is it makes people forget. Everyone you've been reaching out to, everyone you've been following up with, all of a sudden you are off their radar and on the back burner for them to get back with or to get in touch with. And also those skeptics and those people who have been watching you, they will either begin watching someone else or they're going to assume that you have quit and that it didn't work for you because that's where everyone's brain goes. So in those moments, not that we're all going to be happy and wonderful and grateful all the time, even though that would be the goal, right? In those moments, make sure that you're using some sort of system to help yourself be visible daily on social media so that you don't fall into those categories. The second time where it's really important for you to stay visible and to be present is when someone has told you no. Maybe even when someone's been rude to you. Those are the times where especially the introverts in us or the super yellows of us want to shrink back and just disappear and never see that person again. Y'all, it's not about you, first of all. Don't take no's personally. We all had a season of no for ourselves, right? Yet here we are. And so remember that. But also, you guys, every person we reach out to, we need to have that mentality of, I want this for you. I don't need it from you. And if we truly can get to that place, then that no is on them. It's not on you. We are providing an opportunity for someone to jump into hope and to jump into something that could be life-changing for them or uplifting for them or something that they would at least enjoy, right? And if they say no, they're saying no to that opportunity. They're not saying no to you. They're not calling you a dummy or whatever you think they're calling you. But that's step one. Don't take that personally. But when someone tells you no, or when someone has cricketed you or ghosted you, given you crickets, like they are not responding, and you know they've read that message because you saw it when it happened, be even more intentional about being visible, because guess what that means? You actually believe that message that you sent them. You actually are confident that they need this, that it is about them, that, hey, I'm not disappearing. I'm not disappointed in you, because that's the other half. Some people are like, I don't believe you, you're cray. Some people are embarrassed, or they just don't understand that this could be for them. And so we have to show them, no, I really do believe that this could help you specifically, because they've been sold to before. They've gotten messages from people before that never followed up with them. And we'll talk about follow up in a whole nother message. But in order for that person to feel like you truly mean that it's about them, you cannot disappear on them. You have to keep loving them, whether that's posting on their, their pictures, their Facebook, or saying hey to them if you see them in the store. There's a funny story. My upline, had been told no by someone who was really just kind of important. She was a little bit worried about seeing them in person, and she saw them like the next day at Walmart or wherever she was shopping. Anyway, everything within you wants to just go hide in aisle 5, right? But don't do it. Fight that urge, and you assume the awkwardness, because if that person saw you and saw you hide, or saw that you didn't speak to them, then all of a sudden they feel sold to. They feel like, oh, well, I told her no and I didn't buy something from her, so she doesn't care about me. Y'all, that's a dangerous place to be when we're a people-centered business and we want to run people-loving businesses. So you assume that awkwardness on yourself and tackle it head on, and go give them a hug if you're a hugger. Go say, hey, I saw you posted about how was that game last night? Did they end up winning? How did they do? You go make it not awkward. And you know what that will do? That person will feel like, you know what, even though I said no to her, or even though I ignored her message, she really does care about me. The next time you follow up, or the next time you post something, that's going to be in their head, and they're going to say, all right, tell me a little bit more about this. And maybe it's the next 4 times later, who knows? But what I'm saying is, if you start to disappear on those people that have told you no or have ghosted you, most assuredly they will continue to ghost you, and they will continue to think that you're just trying to sell to them. So protect your witness, protect your heart for people, so that they can see you love them, and don't disappear on people that have told you no or haven't told you anything. Thirdly, I want to talk to the business builders out there who have teams. Something that I have seen over and over and over and over again, and even in myself when I've gone through a hard season and been less visible, is that when the direct sponsor disappears from visibility, 9 times out of 10, their downlines will also pull back or disappear, or not be as active on the team pages or posting or whatnot. I have been through seasons myself where I've just maybe been in a headspace or been stressed out, and so I'm not being as creative with my posting, and maybe I've forgotten to post every day. Like, God forbid, I'm a Jewel ambassador and I'm forgetting to post every day. Y'all, I can see that trickle down, because this is kind of a monkey see, monkey do business. We not only watch ourselves and our uplines, but we watch our sidelines and everything, and kind of feed off of each other. Ooh, that was a great post, or oh, they watched that video, so I need to watch that video, or they're all commenting on this, I need to make sure I go see what that says. That's kind of how this operates, is by visibility. What more is caught than taught, and most times. And so be visible for your team. A long time ago, I've had some level 1s that are like, well, I'm watching all the stuff and I'm doing all the stuff, I just don't always comment. And what happens, and what I've tried to help our team understand, and what we're trying to do, is when your team doesn't see that you've watched the video, they don't see that you've liked and commented on that, or tagged them in that and said, hey, this training video is amazing, you need to watch this today, let me know what you think. They may not, number one, see it at all pop up in their newsfeed, because you haven't re-bumped that for them as their friend on Facebook. Number 2, they may not think it's that important. Or number 3, they don't think you're doing it, so they don't think that that's an activity that's worth their time either. And it may not be the case. You might be doing all of those things, but you're not visibly responding and saying that you are. So your team who's watching you doesn't think that you are. That can happen for involvement in IPA challenges or 7-day trials. If they're not actively seeing that you are, maybe seeing that you're recruiting, all of that is visibility for your team to mimic what you're doing. That's why so many of our great Diamond Ambassadors say, be your own rock star. Be the person on your team that you're looking for in someone else, because they're probably going to be doing 80% of what you're doing or less. And so if you're visibly at a 70%, where maybe you're even at home, you're working at a 90 to 100, but visibly it looks like you're at a 70%, then people are going to match less than that. And so there's a fun story. One of my teammates actually stepped away from the business for a while and had this amazing health testimony during her pregnancy. And I asked her, would you please share that on the team page? That is just amazing. We want to rejoice with you. And she did. And do you know what happened? The first 4 comments on that post were from her downline, who never interacted on our team page on any of our other posts for over 6 months to potentially a year. And so what that solidified in my head is that when the direct sponsor is visible, when the direct sponsor is engaged and involved in what's going on, their downline is probably 10 times more likely to engage and to be looking at posts and to be inspired by something that's posted, or to get into some sort of contest or incentive that they could win when they see you being involved in those things too. So, for your witness, for your prospects, for people to know that you love them, to grow your business, to grow who you are as a person and in other people's eyes, but for sure to help your downline understand what it takes to run a business and to work this business well. Be visible. It's not that hard. It takes an extra 2 seconds to comment or to tag one of them in a post, or to comment on someone's picture of their son's baseball game or whatever it is. It doesn't take much extra time, but it does take the thought that people need to see you. They need to see you posting and putting yourself out there, but they also need to see you engaging and loving on them. And then they also need to see you interacting and being involved in your team, maybe the team page that you run or your upline's team page or whatever that looks like, but to be engaged and be visible and to be encouraging them to be a part of that. And that's what's going to duplicate. I think that is one of the biggest things that can really help you feel like your team is coming alongside you and really help people respond to you in the prospecting game. But also, it's a lot more fun and a lot more rewarding when you have people that are interacting with you and doing this with you, or when you're having those positive interactions. They might feel uncomfortable at first, but after a few times you get used to it. It makes you feel stronger because you get to love on that person, and assuming that awkwardness, like we talked about before, helps them to be endeared a little bit more to you and to appreciate you, and might even start supporting your posts or order something from you in the future. So be visible, be present, get out there, and by all means, do not disappear no matter what you're going through or where your business is. Do not disappear and let people think that these products don't work, or that this business doesn't work, or that this is something that they don't want to be a part of, because they would be so wrong to think that, because we have the best opportunity, the best products, and for sure the best community that anyone could ask for. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great day, and don't disappear.